You know what you're listening to?
Next question.
It's Dan Patrick On Demand. Thank you.
Here he is, joined by the Danettes. It's Dan Patrick.
Welcome to the program. It's Hour 2. Dan and the Danettes. Dan Patrick Show. Fritzy's still on the mend. We'll talk to Tom Herman, Texas' new head coach. He'll join us coming up. Also, we'll have a Whose Stats Would You Want? Reggie Miller will join us as well. What's interesting about the NFL season is we make these statements, declarative statements that have an exclamation point at the end of it. Remember back in September, Sam Bradford MVP candidate? Vikings with a defense that could go to the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz should have gone number 1 overall. And then we changed a little bit. Then all of a sudden it was Aaron Rodgers. What's wrong with Aaron Rodgers? And then it was Zeke Elliott. MVP. Dak Prescott should have gone number 1 overall. Last week, I had people saying Russell Wilson should have been up there or is up there for the MVP. And then they got crushed. Now nobody's saying anything. It's so fluid. Week to week, we want to make a statement. We want to be ahead of everybody. And as I love to remind the Danettes, there's a whole lot of football left to be played. And there is. Now, Green Bay, are they back? I don't know. I don't know where they went. Aaron Rodgers has played well in the last 5 weeks. His numbers are great. I mean, he's on pace to throw for 40 touchdowns this year. I think we're looking at body language or comments he's made to the press. He seems like there's other things bothering him. There was the article in Bleacher Report talking about that he doesn't have any communication with his family, hasn't had that the last couple of years. Did he have to choose between his girlfriend and his family? When he gets on the field, he's still really good. And last night was what you would see, what you would think Aaron Rodgers would be. The team's not any good. That's what it comes down to. Rodgers can't score enough points for them to win. So they're not back. Their defense is, they're patched up. Clay Matthews is not doing anything. They have no pass rush. Julius Peppers. No Sam Shields. I mean, they're just not a good all-around team. But Aaron Rodgers will put up great numbers this year because he has to. But nobody's going to. That doesn't fit the narrative here. That's not a good story. We want a better story. Did he have to choose between his actress girlfriend and his family? Why doesn't he like his brother, the Bachelor? Aaron Rodgers, when he got on the field, played well. Yeah, McLovin.
You pointed something out yesterday. If you want to do the MVP based on numbers, there's no question who Drew Brees is far and away the best stat guy in the NFL right now, but we don't consider him.
We don't even consider him one of the top quarterbacks. When the discussion starts, his name does not come up. You eventually get around to it where somebody goes, oh, yeah, and Drew Brees. Like he's you would think that's his name. Oh, yeah, Drew Brees. Don't forget about Drew Brees. Brees is going to have another incredible season this year. The team's just not very good. Yeah, Paul.
It's the shortest out there. Drew Brees still doesn't fit the mold of what we want as a quarterback, 6'4", 220. Even though he's a drop-back guy and doesn't run ever, he's not considered a classic drop-back quarterback because he's small.
Yes, McLovin.
Is there a scenario, say Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott split MVP votes, Brady has cooled off, is a little bit banged up. What if Aaron Rodgers snuck?
No, he's not winning.
What if they went on a run? No?
If they run the table and he continues to perform like this, then he's in the conversation. And you could make an argument that he's right there with Brady.
Oh, Derek Carr, too.
Yeah, Derek Carr, yeah, but that's an all-around team there with the Raiders. There's quite a few great players. I mean, Khalil Mack is great. And Crabtree's been great. They have a running game. That's a little bit different. I don't feel like Derek Carr's doing it on his own. Brady, I think, has done an awful lot on his own here since he came back. His numbers are great. But I still look at what Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, that's the best story this year. And keep this in mind with writers. They like a good story. And Dallas is a really good story. Not that they would take the story over the stats, but I do think it factors in here, folks. They're human. Am I going to write about Tom Brady again? Write about Aaron Rodgers again? Oh, I can write about the Cowboys because people love them some Cowboys, by the way. Poll question, McLovin, what do we have?
Okay, I think we're going to need to change this, but If you had one Hall of Fame vote that you could give to either Darren Sproles or Devin Hester, who would you choose? 60% Hester right now.
Okay.
But I think if we could put up who would you want on your team.
But just because Hester's the best return man in history doesn't mean he's a Hall of Famer. Because the previous guy, whoever that was,
like Brian Mitchell holds a lot of records.
Nobody considered him a Hall of Famer, and he was the best prior to Devin Hester. Now, Hester has been great.
Also Dion, though, but Dion was the best punt returner.
Yeah.
But that's different. He was Hall of Fame.
Dion was
the best quarterback.
Freakish. Some people pointed out, if I'm looking for a Darren Sproles comparison, because I said I don't know if we have a comparison, Eric Metcalf, and you start to look at the numbers here, and they're similar. Eric Metcalf and Darren Sproles. Maybe it's because I love Darren Sproles, but I look at him as, kick returner, as a receiver, and a running back, and he's great at all of those things. But I don't know if that means you're a Hall of Famer or not, because it feels. Look how long it took to get a punter in there. Ray Guy. Well, he's a punter, and even Vinatieri's going in, but Morton Anderson's not in. He's the all-time leading scorer, isn't he? Like we sort of factor in kickers. Vinatieri's a Hall of Famer, no question. His impact on the game, even what he's doing now, absolutely. But can you be the best special teams guy and get into the Hall of Fame? You can be a closer in baseball, make the Hall of Fame. So you can be a specialist, but in football, it's hard for them to open their mind and, kind of go outside the box here. Yes, Paulie.
But a closer in baseball, he needed that save stat attached to his name to make it. No middle reliever who blanks people. You're not getting in with 300 career holds, even though you could be awesome at being a 6 to 8 inning guy. So you have to have the stat to go with it.
Yeah.
Like there's not one stat where you go, man, look at Darren Sproles. He's
But you got to make it easier for the voters to understand. Orlando Pace is a Hall of Famer, and I went, okay. Like I don't know. Larry Allen, I do know, but Orlando Pace. When they said, Orlando Pace, I went, okay, sure. Yes, McLovin.
It's interesting. I'm looking up. There aren't a lot of closers in the Hall of Fame either. That took a while to break that.
Yes.
Yeah, Bruce Sutter got in, remember?
But it's changing now. Is Raleigh Fingers in there?
Yeah, he is. Hoyt Wilhelm, Eckersley, Sutter, Gossage, and Smoltz, if you consider him a close. I mean, he did some closing.
He's a hybrid. But I think being a great closer got him into the Hall of Fame.
Trevor Hoffman will be in, right?
Yes, I would think so. But I think the value of the closer has changed, just like the value of the kicker has changed. All right, couple of phone calls in here. Tom Herman will join us coming up. Also, Nick Saban is not pleased with your questions. I'll play that for you coming up. Jake in Wisconsin. Jakester, are the Packers back?
We sure hope so. That's for damn sure. Oh, man, we can finally breathe again here in Wisconsin, and Seton can't play baby crying music while I'm talking to you anymore, so that's nice.
Oh, he can play it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he will, too.
Yes.
So. Oh, man, but, you could tell Mike McCarthy he got the memo. We got a lot of plays, new plays. There was that option run with Rodgers. That was kind of...
Who sent the memo there?
I would think Ted Thompson and the rest of them.
Oh, stop. Who's more likely to make the postseason? The Badgers or the Packers?
I honestly don't think the Badgers are going to make it, regardless if we win or lose. Well, if we win Saturday, I honestly don't think we're going to make it. Really.
I don't think so. Paulie says that they're destined to be the 5th team in the playoff committee's rankings.
The frustrating thing is Wisconsin fans, like just the state right now, is talking about, well, would you rather go to the Rose Bowl and play somebody or make the playoff and lose to Alabama? And it's just everybody just thinks it's a for sure. Oh, we're going to lose to Alabama. Screw that. We're going to make the playoff. That's great for recruiting. You want to make it to the big one. You don't want to do this little Rose Bowl. It's just not the Rose Bowl of the old, So.
All right. Well, keep your head up. You got a victory. All right.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Jake. Jake getting a little sassy there. Telling you, he's acting like Shea Nerving. Absolutely. Let me see. Leo in New Jersey. Hi, Leo. What do you have for me?
Hey, DP. What's up, buddy?
Hey, bud.
I'm sorry to hear about your mother. I didn't find out until I got home from work yesterday, and it was a little too late to call. So I just want to send my condolences and my prayers to you and your family.
Thank you, bud. Thank you.
Quick question, Danny. Me and my friends were going over this the other day. Do you remember any first-year guys like Zeke and Dak running the table like they are?
As far as a quarterback and a running back on the same team?
Yeah, I know I was a little young when Montana came into the league. I don't remember his first year stats or anything.
No,
like
he
that,
didn't. No, he didn't even start when he first got there.
I didn't think he did. I did not think he did. But there's been no other RB QB connection that have been running the table like this through the gamut of football. Has it? I can't. At least in my recollection, I can't think of it. You got probably 20 years of watching football on me. So, do you remember any offhand?
I'd have to do some research here, but thank you, Leo. Maybe McLovin. Yeah,
Wait,
McLovin.
is he saying rookie? A rookie tandem, not like Troy Aikman and Emmett Smith. Troy and Emmett, where it didn't start together, and they were terrible first.
Yes, yeah. I don't know if there is quarterback running back. I mean, that's so rare.
Well, how about Russell's rookie year with Marshawn? But it wasn't.
Yeah, but he wasn't a rookie.
Oh, right, yeah.
Marshawn had been with Buffalo, and so that no, I don't know if there's a comparison there. I mean, these guys are MVP candidates. It's one thing to just be good. It's one thing to start. These guys are MVP candidates. They may split the MVP vote the way they're going. All right, coming up, whose stats would you want? More of your phone calls as well. Reggie Miller will join us. Jim Harbaugh was fined $10,000 for arguing, complaining about the officials. Basketball tonight, Syracuse, Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Duke. When we return, Tom Herman, including his comments after the loss to Memphis, that some of his players weren't pleased. He will join us coming up. Also, Nick Saban is not pleased with your questions, and we'll have that for you coming up as well. This is the Dan Patrick Show.
Shopping on Black Friday reminds me of one of those panic scenes in a zombie movie, the ones where everyone is trampling each other to get to the back of the store. We've all found ourselves in a swirling sea of shoppers before, and it's not pretty. This year, break out of your old Black Friday routine by going to jackthreads.com. With deals up to 80% off all week long, Jack Threads is your one-stop shop for stuffing your closet with this season's greatest, most essential gear. It's not just a one-day thing. The Jack Threads Black Friday sale runs an entire week with deals up to 80% off. Plus, with Jack Threads tryout program, you can try out any of their stylish t-shirts, jeans, and more at home for free. You'll only pay for what you keep. If it doesn't fit, don't worry. Jack Threads gives you everything you need to ship things back. This Black Friday, skip the lines and save up to 80% off by checking out jackthreads.com. And trust me, I am not buying gifts for other people. I am buying clothes for myself to wear on the Dan Patrick Show, and you should do the same because they're awesome. That's jackthreads.com to save up to 80% off men's clothing. jackthreads.com.
Tonight at 8 p.m., it's an all-new Religion of Sports. It follows MMA fighter Kat Zingano. She prepares for the comeback UFC 200 Religion of Sports. Critics love it. AT&T original series exclusively available on Audience Channel 239 tonight at 8 Eastern. All right, we're going to talk to Tom Herman, the Texas head coach. He'll join us coming up a little bit here. I wanted to play this sound here. Now, this is after the Memphis loss, and I don't know who the reporter is, but the reporter was doing their job here. He took the Texas job the next day, so here's the line of questioning for Tom Herman.
How have you addressed with your team the reports that there are multiple schools interested in your services and you might not be the head coach at Houston next year?
Honesty. Don't believe anything that you read.
Can you confirm those reports are false?
Absolutely. Sure.
How have you instructed your agent to handle your situation moving forward?
I'm not going to talk about any other job except the one I got right now and these kids.
Because of the landscape in college football, you're put in these positions. And it's a must-lie situation. Everybody knew what was going on, at least had an idea. I'm sure his players knew. I'm sure his athletic director knew that word was getting out. Texas was certainly interested. LSU made a run. Texas then probably had to up the ante, and then they got Tom Herman. This did not happen in a span of 24 hours. It did not. We'd like to believe it, but it didn't. It's a must-lie situation. Could he have diffused or defended or deflected a little bit better? Absolutely. You got to go vague there, but you can't talk about honesty and then 24 hours later you're saying hook 'em horns. Like you can't do that. The optics are terrible there. And he's just the latest coach to do it because we've seen many before, and I've taken him to task, and there's going to be plenty more after this. I like that a coach can leave in the middle of the night if he wants to. But a player, well, you got to sit out here. That's kind of silly, too, and hypocritical. Yeah, Paulie.
But how does a coach in that situation, after a game with his team still on the field, he's wearing Houston colors, be completely honest with that reporter? Because if he's honest...
You can't be completely honest.
Okay.
But you can't use the word honesty either.
So you can lie a little, you can't lie a lot?
I have to be vague.
He tried to be vague. He goes, just go with
No, he didn't. He was vague later, not originally. He was like, honesty. So you can confirm that these rumors are not true.
But he may have been honest over the past couple days with his players and the Houston Cougar management.
Some of his players were not thrilled with this, with the timing of this.
Were they thrilled when they obtained him from the school they took him from?
Well, he was an assistant coach who became a head coach.
But they always get taken from somewhere.
And this is Houston going to Texas.
Right.
A little bit different.
But I don't know what he could have said.
He could have said, I'm not addressing anything right now other than I'm going to go in there and talk to these kids. We just lost. We're going to get ready for a bowl game. I'm disappointed here. After that, then we can ask questions. Something that is going to take the focus away from him leaving, the potential for him leaving, to keeping it in the moment that they just lost another football game. It's difficult. These coaches have to do this. There's a high wire act to do this, to do it in a tactful way. It's like Texas and what they did to Charlie Strong's embarrassing. How about honesty there? Couldn't they just said Charlie is going to coach if he wants to coach the last game, but he's not going to be back? Instead, you just sort of said, we haven't made any decision on Charlie Strong. Yeah, you had. Yeah, you had. Yes, he.
Why is it so wrong to take a better job?
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing.
Because that's kind of what it feels like this whole coaching carousel thing has turned into. It's a must-lie situation that the coach isn't actually allowed to be honest that, I'm interested in going from Houston to Texas football to be the head coach. Yeah, I'm interested in that. Yeah. You're actually, for some reason, it's like impolite to actually admit that, which to me is actually the real problem.
Okay, so how do you do it in a text? So he should have just said, I'm taking this job tomorrow. I've been negotiating behind everybody's back for a long time. Actually, in September, I got feelers from how full disclosure do you get here?
Right.
That's the only thing I would want to know here. Do we know that this was going on? Yes. This is what happens to a third party.
It's been his next job. Tom Herman's next job has been a storyline the entire year.
Yes.
All year we've been talking about that, and even so much that when they started losing, it was like, I don't know. Is he still going to get a good job anymore? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems so silly that now in the the final hours of this, it's like, whoa, hey, wait a minute. You're not allowed to say that, but you are allowed to say this, and he could have done a better job deflecting that.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that, and he just used a really poor choice of words.
Yes,
obviously.
When you say honesty, and then 24 hours later, you're Texas head coach, then there's an issue there. Like, the optics are terrible. But he was taking another job. When they didn't get in the Big 12, he was taking another job. And I said that all along, and that's what happened. We're not surprised at any of this. Nobody should be surprised at any of this. I just think that remember Butch Davis? Butch Davis coached Miami. And I'd heard this story from the father of a recruit who Butch had said on Sunday, I'm going to be here. He took the Browns job the next day. So that's Sunday to Monday. Is that fair? This kid's going to go there and you're leaving the next day? I just think that we're hypocritical when it comes to the student athlete. They can't transfer. You can. If you get fired, you get paid. Kid wants to transfer? All right, you go sit out. It's just there's nothing that benefits the kid. And here's Tom Herman's going to Texas. They got their guy. Great. It was just an awkward moment there where he could have done a better job. Speaking of awkward moments, do you have the reporter who's asking Nick Saban a question? And apparently it's a question that had been asked prior in the press conference, and Nick didn't want to have anything to do with this about, hey, if you lose another game, you could still play for the national title.
I mean, you all put everything about the playoffs, man. That's all you care about. You don't care about any bowl games. You don't care about any teams in the country that aren't in the playoffs. I don't know. If we don't win this game, maybe we throw a stink bomb out there. Maybe we don't get in the playoffs. I don't know. You guys got all the answers to all that, but I don't. All right. All I know is if we play and we play well, we control our own destiny in terms of what we do. I'd really rather not have any more questions about, is it okay to lose this game? It's never okay to lose a game.
He almost went Shea and Irving there. And he's right. You can't ask him this. So Nick Saban's going to go, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably, if we lose the SEC title, yeah, so what? Ohio State's probably going to play for the national title, and they're not winning the Big Ten. He's not going to answer the question. You're not even going to entertain the idea that you could somehow lose and play for the national. He's Nick Saban. He's not answering that question. And not if you ask him 3 times. I understand why he's upset. I'd be too. Really? Do you think I'm thinking anything other than winning this game here? After that, it's not in my control. It's the committee's. It's their job. If they see fit, putting us in there, we'll play for the national title. Are you going to put in Wisconsin as the number 5 team guarantee like you did Baker Mayfield finishes runner-up for the Heisman?
Yeah, and I like Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin...
Now, you and McLevin have a bet, don't you?
Yes. I said Baker Mayfield's going to finish second for the Heisman.
Okay, and that's a wheel of punishment. Punishment. We need somebody to record Wheel of Punishment in a kind of a light, airy way,
like Blink 182 or something, like something happy and poppy, like Wheel of Punishment.
Maybe 5 Seconds of Summer or some, like a young boy band.
So one of the categories is eat 2 full plates of wings. That's the punishment.
Hot wing.
Yeah. But that's fun.
That's so much fun.
Yeah,
yes, Wisconsin, I think, is going to win the Big Ten title game handily, and then they're going to get shut out. I think they're the best defense in the country.
But you're not going to add this to the Baker. That would be a separate bet.
Separate bet.
Wisconsin finishes 5th in the country.
More fun.
Another punishment?
I like fun.
Does anybody want to take Paul? Yes, McLevin.
Wait, should I be rooting for Baker Mayfield to have a great game or a bad game? Which is safer, first place or third place? I don't know how to root.
Ooh, boy. I think a bad game. Because if he has a great game, then he's going to New York, and the chances are that he could finish runner-up. I would root for a bad game against Oklahoma State. All right, is anybody taking Paulie up on Wisconsin 5th overall? Seton, you want no part of punishment?
Yeah, I guess I'll do punishment.
Oh, wow. Do you want to do Wheel of Punishment for Wisconsin finishes 5th?
You know me, I'm all about fun.
All right, it's all about. Oh wait, so
you
that's
guys
a no.
Are soft. You guys are all so soft.
Wow.
I love the baiting. I love the light baiting.
You sounded pretty positive. Sounded pretty positive there. We'll take a break. We'll talk to Texas new head coach Tom Herman after this.
At Great Clips, we have clip notes. Notes that tell stylists exactly what you like every time. Because if you don't get your great haircut every time, unexpected things might happen to you. Without your haircut, your dog might mistake you as an intruder.
Bobo, it's me. Bobo, ow! Ow!
You might get put in a police lineup.
It's him! No, it's not me!
Avoid all the unexpected things that might happen to you with the wrong haircut. Go to Great Clips because they use clip notes. Notes that tell stylists exactly what you like. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
My name is Anthony Ponce, and I used to be a reporter on NBC. But I got tired of being part of traditional news media. So I quit that job and became a Lyft driver. And now I interview whatever passengers end up in my back seat. So if you want to hear the best stories that real people tell me when we're driving around the city, check out my podcast. It's called Backseat Rider on PodcastOne.com, the Podcast One app, and iTunes.
Continental Tire Coach's Corner, brought to you by Continental Tire. You'll see Continental Tire at sporting venues across the United States, including college basketball. Continental's premium products available at leading independent tire dealers, car dealers, mass retail companies across North America. For more information, visit ContinentalTire.com. Continental Tire, for what you do. New head coach at Texas, formerly of Houston. He's Tom Herman, back on the program. Coach, congratulations. Where are you this morning?
I'm at my office right now in Austin, getting ready to hit the road recruiting.
What's in the office right now?
Not a whole lot. There's a few pictures, a few trophies in the office, but there's not a whole lot. Me and my wife, our jobs ahead of us to decorate it.
When did you agree to the Texas job?
Oh boy, like 4 in the morning on Saturday morning.
So Saturday morning. Okay. Sunday morning or Saturday morning?
Saturday. It was it was Saturday morning because we had played that day, that Friday.
Why 4 in the morning?
Well, if the timeline's that important, we can. I got a phone call when we landed from the Memphis game, and said that some people from Texas wanted to meet with me, and so the meeting didn't start till about 10:30 at night, and went that long to figure something out.
I know we talked during the season twice about this, and it's a dangerous game we play. It's a tightrope you guys have to walk, and there's nothing wrong with getting another job, a better job, or bigger job, and I certainly understand that. But the comments after the Memphis game, where you're telling a reporter that don't believe any of this, were you being sincere at the time?
Yeah, all of the reports that were out, that were floating around at the time, it was before the Memphis game, but not after. And every single report that was floating out at that time was inaccurate. So I was not lying. I felt very comfortable saying that.
What about the LSU opportunity? Did they reach out to you?
Yeah, and not to skirt the question, I don't know that how we got here is relevant. What's really relevant is that we're here now, Dan, and excited about moving forward, excited about the kids in the locker room, excited about getting on the road recruiting. So, there's a lot of things that happen that have been reported and that did or didn't happen. But at the end of the day, I don't know how any of that is relevant. I'm great with the team at Houston. I never once lied to them. I never told them anything that was false, and so those are the only people that I need to make my peace with, and I've done that. I've gotten numerous phone calls and texts, all positive, from my former players at the University of Houston and from boosters and administration there, and so I've moved on, and I think it's smart for everybody else to too.
Well, I understand. I'm just fascinated with the process here because it puts you in a difficult position. That's all. And I don't know if there's a way to make the process better, other than having complete honesty and saying, "Look, I'm exploring other jobs while I'm coaching here," or you're not the first coach and you're not the last coach. But it is a dangerous position there.
Yeah, it is, and they all twist and turn in different ways too. But I think, again, and I guess for advice for anybody, you're right. I'm not the last coach that this will happen to, but as long as you're honest with your players and the team, I think you're good. And you don't need to tell the media everything. You don't need to tell Joe Fan everything. Yep. As long as you're honest with your teammates or with your team and your coaches, I think you can put your head down on the pillow at night and rest easy.
Did you have to sell yourself to Texas or the other way around?
Oh, I think there was a little bit of both, to be honest with you. My biggest thing, I wanted to know their vision for Texas football and moving forward. I wanted to know President Fenvis's and Mike Perrin, the athletic director. I wanted to know if their vision for Texas football aligned with mine. And through those talks, I came away very convinced that will be the case, that we will be aligned together in what we need in terms of resources and support to bring Texas football back to its rightful place among the college football elite.
Going back to what I asked you a couple of weeks ago, if Houston makes the Big 12, my gut feeling was you'd stay. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but was that a curveball in the whole process here?
I'm not sure. It's so hypothetical. I don't know that I ever gave it.
But it was close, though. I mean, there was discussions of you guys.
Oh, yeah. But it didn't. I never thought about how this is going to affect whether I stay at Houston or not. That never really crossed my mind.
How do you sell Texas after what's happened the last 3 years?
Well, you sell it as, we're the flagship university for the greatest football playing state in our country, and we've won multiple national championships. We've played for multiple national championships. We've won conference championships, and we've got some young talent on the team that needs some direction, and but to sell it to recruits, it's easy. We got some of the best facilities in the country. We've got some of the best fans. We've got a great education here at the University of Texas to sell them, and a great city in Austin. So the recruiting will not be hard at the University of Texas. We will continue. We've got so much experience recruiting the state of Texas and such good relationships with the high school coaches here that selling this place will not be difficult. Now we need to stay competitive with the elite teams in the country, the Alabamas, the Ohio States, the Clemsons of the world in terms of our facilities and our resources and support staff and recruiting staff and all that. But at the end of the day, we're still the University of Texas, and with this plan and this vision and what we're going to be able to do, we're going to win a bunch of championships while we're here.
You took the job at 4 a.m. Did you have to wake your wife, or was she already awake?
No, she was on the phone as we were talking about it, and so I'm not DP. I don't know about you, man, but I'm not going to make any decision like that without calling her and making sure she's good with it. So she was on the phone. I woke her up with the phone call, but she was on the phone, pretty much the last 45 minutes to an hour.
What are you doing
with the meeting?
What are you doing with your Houston gear?
I don't know. Any time you change jobs, this is not the first time I've changed jobs. So usually try to give it to as good a fans that you've become close to or some.
How about yard sale? Have a tag sale. Have your wife have a tag sale.
Yeah, when I was a GA and I left Texas back in 2000, I actually did because I needed the money. But I just think giving it to people that deserve it, and even giving it to kids and organizations that can better use it is better than trying to put a price tag on it and selling it.
How much did you make as a grad assistant?
I made $400 a month and trying to live in Austin, Texas. My wife was working back in Los Angeles. She was my fiance at the time, and she would send me money to help pay rent. So yeah, $400 a month, DP.
You've made $400 since you got on the phone call here with me.
I haven't done the math, so if you can do the math that quick, that's pretty impressive.
Good luck on the recruiting trail, and we appreciate you joining us, and congrats on the job.
All right, DP, appreciate you having me.
That's Tom Herman. He's hooking them already. Coach brought to you by Continental Tire Coach's Corner. You'll see Continental Tire at sporting events around the country, including college basketball. Big presence there. Continental Tire, their premium products. Find out more. Go to ContinentalTire.com. Continental Tire, for what you do. We'll come back, recap that. Your phone calls coming up. Dan Patrick Show.
Did you know that if you signed up for football season tickets in Green Bay, you'd be on the waiting list for 30 years? Or Pittsburgh, the only city where all major sports teams share the same color? Here's another thing you might not know. Something that's actually really helpful. TrueCar also helps people get used cars. I'm a big used car buyer. Just picked up a 05 Subaru Forester. It's awesome. TrueCar isn't just for new cars. Their certified dealer network also has the inventory of over 7,000 pre-owned cars nationwide. So whether you buy a used car or you get real pricing on actual inventory, better buying experience through TrueCar's certified dealer network, there's another fun fact. TrueCar customers can see if they're getting a good price or a great price before buying. They're also more likely to enjoy the buying process when they connect to a TrueCar certified dealer. You know what you get, you trust what you got. So when you're ready to buy a used car or a new car, visit TrueCar to enjoy a better buying experience. I went there. I was looking all over for a Subaru 05 Forester, the LL Bean edition seating, and it's awesome. Get it now. Check out TrueCar.com. Some features not available in all states. Go to TrueCar.com today. TrueCar.com.
Stay tuned for 60 seconds of AP News headlines right after this podcast.
I like how people say, and you like Tom Herman, right? Yes, I do. I do. But I just want to ask these questions. I'm curious about it. It's the process of it, of taking a job. And of course, he didn't talk to Texas, but his agent did. I understand all of these things. The LSU part of it, I'm interested in. Just because if Tom Herman takes it, like Ed Orgeron is not sure if he's getting that job, and he wouldn't get that job if Tom Herman said, I want it. But now Ed's got it. So because of that, now Nick Saban may lose Lane Kiffin. There's other things involved in this. There's no gotcha moment there with Tom Herman. I think we're all grown-ups to understand what happened here. And I don't begrudge him for taking another job. I'm waiting to find an athletic director who says the following. I am going to hire you, but you're not leaving. You're not breaking a contract. You're not there. I will pay you the entire time, the full contract. If I fire you, I pay you everything. But you're not looking for another job. When your contract comes due, you want to look for another job, great. If not, then I want money back. But there's no athletic director who's going to do it, because if you're a coach, you're going to go, well, I don't want to get locked into that. Yeah, Paulie.
But the college coaching setup with the coaches is almost like an agreed-upon dirty pool.
Yes.
Like, if I'm a coach and I want to leave, I can. And if you want to flirt with another coach while I'm still employed, you can. Like, Texas, I'm sure, before they decided on Charlie Strong, knew what they had coming in.
But they had to pay Charlie Strong. They're paying him everything.
Everybody gets paid. That's the bottom line.
Yes. So you're getting paid. And if Tom wants to take this job, rightfully so, it's a better job. I do think if Houston gets into the Big 12, Tom Herman doesn't take the job. That's my feeling. Because I think it would give them status football-wise. Now we're in the Big 12. Now we're with the big boys. It would add something to their football program. Therefore, I think he would have stayed. So I'm fascinated with all these things and how they play out. Johnny in Pittsburgh. Hi, Johnny.
Hey, fellas. Husky 6'3", 250. So I very rarely disagree with Sean. I don't know if it's a full-on disagreement, but he had mentioned earlier before Tom's interview about why this whole process has to be so convoluted. And I don't know if you remember in the last 5 years, I think a couple of years ago, it was such a scrutiny on college coaches, football and basketball, mostly football, on leaving their players and recruits high and dry and taking new jobs.
Yep.
And I think that's a big part of it. If you look up contact period in the NCAA, not to get all into the minutia of it, but the NCAA dictates this process, this convoluted process where everybody's vying for these coaches during bowl season. And that's why these guys are leaving and they can't contact their recruits. Now, Tom, I don't think it was a gotcha moment, Dan, in that interview. You asked the right questions, but he did say the right answer when he said, look, I don't have to tell the media everything as long as my players and coaches know what's going on. And I think he handled it well if that's exactly what he did. But the NCAA puts these guys in these positions.
All right. Well, thank you, Johnny. The problem I had was the interview. This was on Saturday or Friday before the Memphis game. As Tom corrected me, it wasn't after Memphis, it was before. Now, is it a tough question to answer, even ask, as you're getting ready to play a football game? Absolutely. But there was so much speculation here, and it was happening so quickly. Play it again, Seton. And when he says honesty, that's when I went, whoa, don't say that. Because if you're trying to diffuse it, trying to deflect it, people are going to come back to that once they realize you're leaving.
How have you addressed with your team the reports that there are multiple schools interested in your services and you might not be the head coach at Houston next year?
Honesty. Don't believe anything that you read.
Can you confirm those reports are false?
Absolutely. Sure.
How have you instructed your agent to handle your situation moving forward?
I'm not going to talk about any other job except the one I got right now and these kids.
You are talking about other jobs prior to that. Then he says, I don't want to talk about any other jobs. But you're sort of acknowledging the other jobs, whether you're saying that they're not true or not. That's where it got a little off the rails there. And I didn't like how it looked and how it sounded. But once again, I'll say it because now I'm hearing from people, you were trying to get him. What do you have against Texas? Nothing. Stop. It's nonsense here. Okay? I like Tom. I hope he does well. I don't know how good he is. He's only coached for 2 years. And you're going into Texas where you're on the clock for 2 years. And let's see if he can turn it around. The process here that college football has made this a cesspool is what is interesting to me. I'm coaching. How many coaches don't coach in a bowl game because they've taken other jobs? We've seen that. How silly is that? Oh, we're going to give the offensive coordinator gets an opportunity. Oh, great. We'll spin it. Make it positive. Yeah. Everybody gets like an iPad and everybody goes home from a bowl game. Nice. Yeah, Paul.
But with recruiting, you can't give the coach 3 weeks. Like Texas couldn't have said to Tom Herman, go ahead and take care of Houston and come with us when late December's over.
I know.
The recruiting starts today.
But that's the problem with what college football's created here. What do you have against Texas? I don't have anything. Nothing. I love Austin. I wanted my daughter to go to Austin just so I could visit her in Austin. She wouldn't listen to me. She goes, "Why do you want me to go to Austin?" I don't know. Go where you want to go. Reggie Miller will join us coming up final hour. Dan and the Danettes, Dan Patrick Show.
Thanks for listening to Dan Patrick On Demand.
That is a noble gesture.
Now you can listen to DP and the guys 24/7 on danpatrick.com.
That's pretty impressive.
Stay tuned for the latest AP News headlines from Podcast One, right after this.
Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Yesterday, Cliff Sora shared a top 10 list of hot fusion restaurants, a vegan gluten-free mashup recipe, and a podcast featuring organic food trends. Oh, TMI? Too much internet information. That's oversharing. Cliff, Geico has something worth sharing with your friends. Like how on Geico.com you could save hundreds on your car insurance, update your policy, and report a claim. Gluten-free info that's easy to swallow. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
AP Update. I'm Rita Foley. President-elect Donald Trump is tweeting that he's leaving his business empire to focus on being the nation's 45th president, bowing to pressure to avoid potential conflicts of interest between governing and profiting in the private sector. Trump tweeted this morning, "I will be leaving my great business in total in order to fully focus on running the country, in order to make America great again. While I am not mandated to do this under the law," he tweets, "I feel it is visually important as president to in no way have a conflict of interest with my various businesses." He said legal documents are being crafted which take him completely out of business operations. He adds that the presidency is a far more important task. The tweets this morning from President-elect Donald Trump. AP Update. I'm Rita Foley.